This is the Barbados Today afternoon news for Monday, May 28th. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Our top story this afternoon, members of the Social Partnership are at this moment meeting with government as the new administration seeks ways to turn around the economy. The meeting follows talks led by Prime Minister Mia Mottley on Friday with her economic team, following Thursday's election. Prime Minister Mottley announced yesterday that she plans to meet with the Social Partnership twice a month in a bid to return the island to a path of stability. Meanwhile, Mottley also announced at yesterday's swearing-in of new cabinet ministers that her government will seek to ensure transparency, particularly in the absence of a parliamentary opposition.
The absence of a formal opposition in the House provides my government with a unique opportunity to evolve other institutional arrangements for ensuring inclusive dialogue and participation by a wide cross-section of Barbadian stakeholders in the business of governance. These will include an innovative use of the committee system of Parliament to co-opt external participation and input, and an enhanced consultative process with an expanded and re-energized social partnership, and through the structure of our proposed People's Assemblies and national dialogues. We will also consider the introduction of question time, where members of Parliament will respond to pertinent queries not only by members of Parliament, but submitted by members of the public. We are deeply conscious of the example set by Prime Minister Mitchell in managing a parliament and a country effectively in the absence of an opposition. In short, the checks and balances function that is expected of a parliamentary opposition can be carried out by you, the people of Barbados.
The Gender Affairs Committee of the National Union of Public Workers is describing the election of Prime Minister Mia Mottley as an historic victory for women in Barbados. Mottley became the island's first female prime minister when the Barbados Labour Party won a landslide victory in last Thursday's general elections. Chair of the committee, Michaela Beckles-Jordan, says Mottley and her newly elected female ministers continue to shatter the glass ceiling in politics. She says Barbadian women can now feel a sense of pride as Prime Minister Mottley and her team continue to develop mutually beneficial relations while promoting equal opportunities for men and women in Barbados. And Barbados's democratic process has come in for high praise from one of its Latin American allies following last Thursday's election. Argentina's ambassador to Barbados, Gustavo Pandiani, welcomed Mia Mottley's election as Prime Minister and commended the conduct during the polls. He was addressing the members of the Barbados Labour Party administration and other officials at his Christchurch home to celebrate Argentina's National Day. Pandiani said the election was conducted freely, orderly and peacefully, and it is a reflection of a country that enjoys a strong and consistent rule of law.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. The Caribbean Development Bank has approved a $6.5 million loan to assist Anguilla in meeting its fiscal obligations following Hurricane Irma last year. The CDB says funds will allow the government to focus on its recovery priorities without having to divert resources to meet financing needs. Hurricane Irma caused approximately $507 million in damage to Anguilla. The CDB's Director of Economics, Justin Ram, says government is now facing a financing gap, having had to meet increased spending needs while facing a loss of revenue from a missed tourism season. Ram says the loan will allow government to focus on the critical social and economic needs of the country. It is repayable over 13 years, including a 3-year grace period. Over in the Bahamas, the government has been meeting with members of the Haitian community to discuss a seamless transition from shanty towns. We get the details in this report from ZNS News.
Acknowledging the difficulties that Haitian nationals face when conducting business at the Department of Immigration, Minister of Immigration, the Honorable Brent Semenet, made this pledge to the League of Haitian Pastors attending the organization's annual crusade at the Church of God Auditorium Thursday night.
For each and every one of their delegates or their members who are waiting for some response from the Department of Immigration, give their names, telephone numbers, and email addresses to their pastor. Their pastors will, I'm asking them, pass that on to the President. And he will pass them on to me.
Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Hubert Minnis declared in his address that Haiti and the Bahamas share geography, history, and family ties that should be celebrated. The Prime Minister received applause from the Haitian community as he delivered a message from Haitian President His Excellency Jovenel Moïse, as well as clarifying the work of the government's Shantytown Task Force that includes Haitian pastors, noting that the government has been careful to address this issue in a comprehensive and compassionate manner.
And on the international scene, Italy's president has set the country back on a path to fresh elections. He has appointed a former official of the International Monetary Fund as interim prime minister, tasked with planning for snap polls and passing the next budget. We get more in this Reuters report.
Early elections now look inevitable in Italy. Efforts to form a coalition government between two anti-establishment parties collapsed after a rare move by the country's president. Sergio Mattarella rejected demands to name a Eurosceptic to the economy minister role, citing fears he might have pushed Italy out of the Eurozone. Following the standoff, five-star leader Luigi Di Maio called on Parliament to impeach the mild-mannered Mattarella, and League chief Matteo Salvini threatened mass protests unless snap elections were called. Shortly afterwards, Mattarella summoned former senior International Monetary Fund official Carlo Cottarelli to his office, where he tasked him to try and form a new government. Reuters' Steve Scherer.
However, without the support of the five-star movement and the League, that will be very difficult, if not impossible. So he's unlikely to ever be able to seat a government that wins a confidence vote in Parliament. That means it'll be a government with limited powers that will take Italy toward another election.
The Eurozone's third largest economy has been without a government since elections in March because no political group can form a majority. Cottarelli says if needed, fresh elections will be held after August, most likely at the beginning of next year. That prospect has rattled financial markets, with investors now fearing what a future vote could bring.
And finally, a Malian migrant who was hailed a hero after a daring rescue to save a small boy dangling from a balcony in Paris is to be made a French citizen. Video showed that spectators were cheering him on as he pulled himself up from the balcony to the 4th floor. Mamadou Gassama was widely praised after climbing the outside of the building to save the 4-year-old. French President Emmanuel Macron met with him at the Élysée Palace and said he would be made a naturalized citizen. Macron personally thanked Gassama and gave him a medal for courage. He said he would also be offered a role in the fire service. And that's news this afternoon. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also sign up for BT's WhatsApp news alerts, and you can subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and on Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good afternoon.